Wahala don jam trouble. If na your hotel be this one, wetin you go do the engineer? I just ask. Fake material don jam wahala, e don burst.
What a calamity of a collapse. That is a very big structural failure. Like Brother Mark is asking, what are we going to do to the engineer? Definitely in Nigeria, no building of that magnitude will be supervised without a qualified engineer. So the issue now is not whether it's a quack that supervises it. To me, it's doubtful because there should be an engineer supervising that project. Now, who am I going to blame? The first thing that the Council for Regulation of Engineering will do is to wade into this matter. It will be summoned. Also, the Lagos State, the people responsible for testing materials and all that, there's an agency for that. They will also wade into the matter. So the matter is in different folds. For the Quran, who are supposed to discipline the engineer, they will first and foremost call him, summon him for questioning. We have to provide all the documents in his own disposal, at his own disposal. Why such a building should collapse? No engineer will tolerate that. Well, I am a structural engineer. I have a master's degree in structures. And also, I'm a civil engineer. I'm also a social scientist because I have an MBA. And I know exactly what Brother Mike is talking about. This kind of building collapse is too depressing. Apart from Korean wading in, the supervisory body agency, if it were to be in Lagos, I don't know where the location is, all the relevant documentation for approval, the quality assurance, and the quality itself of the materials are supposed to be documented and before approval is given. Who is the owner of this structure? Maybe it's a contractor that is doing it. So when you are talking about the quality of the materials, that is where the contractor comes in. But then it's also under supervision. The contractor is under supervision. And the supervising body should be held responsible. Was there a geotechnical design, an appropriate storage test done to determine the suitability of the foundation for that building? Such a high-rise building, if the area is probably in an environment that is swampy, it has to be purely piled foundation. Was it properly piled? Was the pile test properly done? Did they hit rock? Did they hit the hard surface where the bearing capacity can carry the proposed load that will be put on it? So one, the supervisory, the approving body are supposed to demand for the geotechnical survey and the foundation design and structures for this building before approval is given. Then they should also look at the structural design. From what I'm seeing of the collapse, it collapsed by crushing. It's like the foundation failed, and gradually there was a foundation collapse, and the entire building have to come down. So the foundation aspect should be well scrutinized. Then secondly, if the foundation design was properly done, the structural design was properly done, then you look at the material specification. Were they done according to standard? If it is recommended that you should use 25 mm iron rod? Did they use it? Did they use the specified one? Is it high tensile that was used, or they now decided to use my steel? So these are the nuances that we should be looking at. Very expensive error. Look at the colossal money that has been lost. I hope no life was lost. So, like I was saying, when you check the design and it's in order, because this one does not have to do with the architect, because the architectural design is on its beauty, but the strength of the materials, the onus rests on the engineer, that is the structural engineer. Not everybody that people call engineer. The one certified by Koren. An engineer is one that is certified by Koren, that has the capacity to understand the integrity of the structure, and also to make sure that everything is complied with. What are the processes? As we are building, the building is being supervised. The piling is done, the foundation work is done. All the joints, are they well connected? Are they properly connected? If the joints are not properly connected, it can cause failure. If the design mix is not followed appropriately, it can cause failure. If the quality of the cement is bad, it can cause failure. That is why we do cube test at every stage of a construction building. You are supposed to run cube test, which will be tested at intervals. 7 days strength will be tested, 21 days strength will be tested, then 28 days. Progressively, so that they will know that, okay, the material used can carry the load. It's heavy load. It's quite a pity that such a building should collapse. There are so many collapsed buildings all over this country, and all over Africa, all over the world. So, these people should listen when the structural engineer is speaking. You listen to him. By the way, there must have been a structural engineer in that place. So, Brother Mark, I think you are not wrong. There are engineers in that site. They should be called to, not just being called to order, to question, and they should be disciplined accordingly. Those that have certificates, if they are found guilty, which I know, yes, they will be found guilty, their certificates should be retrieved, and they should be, jailed accordingly. They should be jailed. I mean, this kind of failure shouldn't have been allowed. Because you are there to safeguard the structure. You are there to safeguard the money of the owner. You are there to supervise the contractor, not looking the other way when wrong things are being done. Do you know, Brother Mark, that when we are designing structures, there's what we call safety considerations. There are safety factors. We have 1.4 for live load, and we have 1.4 for dead load and 1.6 for live load. We also have for wind load like 1.2 safety factor, which means if the actual load to be carried is maybe 10 kilonewton, we design for 16 kilonewtons if it is live load, and we design for 14 kilonewton if it is dead load. And for wind load, it can be at 1.1 or 1.2, depending on the criteria. So I will not stand here as an engineer to support my colleagues who have woefully displayed negligence in this particular building. There is no how they will do this interrogation and findings that the engineer will not be brought to book. You are the central referee. You are the one that monitors the owner, the contractor, and the engineers are also the ones that will come from the supervisory body, that will do the soil testing. They will do the everything. They will look at the design and everything. So, my brother Mike, you are right. They should be dealt with. The culprit should be dealt with. Hmm? Thank you very much. My name is Engineer Anthony Onyokoko. God bless you.